Hello and welcome to Bosch TV. It's that Christmassy time of year again. We've got some wicked snacks for you.
Now, this year has been a bit of a roller coaster, but don't worry because we've got some fantastic treats to see it off in the right way.
Here are 5 snacks that are perfect for that festive time of year. Now, this is one of my absolute all-time favourite sweet recipes, Nutella and Biscoff. Obviously, we're making our own Nutella here.
Yeah, definitely, because Nutella has lots of palm oil in it and obviously it's not vegan at all. So we're remedying it by making our own right here.
And it's a brand. Should we even be talking about brand names?
No, probably not.
But the classic flavour, of course, is hazelnuts and chocolate. So that's what we're adding in there, as well as a touch of nut milk to add even more nutty flavour.
Now with ours, you'll notice in the video just here, we're leaving a little bit of texture in there because, you know, hazelnuts are nutty and you like that crunch, and that's why we've left it in.
But you can, of course, blitz it for longer if you want to try and get it smoother. Also, it's probably a good idea to keep adding a touch of water if you're aiming for that really smooth Nutella finish.
Exactly right. Now look at this, we've got some puff pastry. We're obviously using pre-rolled, obviously using vegan, and what we're doing here is spreading out that lovely crunchy chocolate spread to make a little Christmas tree.
Oh, it's genius. So festive. I absolutely love it.
And there we go, we've got that wonderful Biscoff spread as well. So Biscoff spread, well, I suppose it's kind of like a spready version of those lovely biscuits you get in Europe.
Absolutely, it's cinnamon flavoured, it's almond flavoured, it's got that kind of burnt caramel flavour. It's incredible.
Now, obviously, if you're making a Christmas tree, just make sure that you spend a little bit of time getting the Christmas tree shape to your liking.
If you ask me, this is the perfect thing to serve around the Christmas period because it's pretty easy to put together, but it looks super impressive.
Yeah, and if you've got kids who deserve a little treat at this time of year, this is the perfect thing to make with them.
So do be careful when you're doing this. Pastry can be a little bit difficult to handle, so if it starts to get a bit too warm, just pop it in the fridge for 5 minutes to cool it down. But we're going to use a knife to create little fronds and then twist them carefully to make a beautiful tree effect.
Yeah, I think your tip about keeping the pastry cool is a very good one because you need it cool for this.
Absolutely. So fiddly using pastry from time to time, and sometimes when it's warm it can be really difficult to work.
It's very fiddly, but you know what? It's so worth it. You just know that that's going to look amazing when it comes out the oven and it's all puffed up and golden and crispy. And look, there it is. Wasn't lying.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That's incredible.
I love the table dressing as well.
Yeah. So berries are really nice to just add a little bit of extra sheen to this, and of course you need that little tap of icing sugar in the sieve.
And you know what else you need, right?
What's that?
A little coffee.
A coffee. Oh. And you could even like break a bit off and then dip it in the coffee.
This is the perfect thing in between Christmas breakfast and Christmas lunch. This is the sort of thing when you're watching like Home Alone 2 or Home Alone 1, because Home Alone 2 has Donald Trump in it. We don't want that guy. Yeah, this is the perfect thing to have with a cup of tea in the middle of the afternoon, or middle of the morning rather. And there is the leftover chocolate spread as a dip.
Delicious.
Delicious. And now we've got cheese and fig pastries. We've gone from the sweet and now we're entering the savoury.
So tell me about the inspiration for this interesting sounding dish, Ian.
Well, do you remember we did a little tart recipe in our first book, and we wanted to take that same sort of mythology and just give it a nice Christmas twist. And I personally love figs, so decided that this definitely had to be in this video.
I mean, figs are incredibly beautiful to look at. They're a really interesting shape when you see the innards of the fig, and they just pop out of this dish beautifully, don't they?
Yeah, they absolutely do. And if you notice here, we haven't chopped all the way through there. What we've done is kind of just scored it so it has this really nice border when it goes into the oven.
And that's puff pastry, so that's going to puff up really nicely. As we said before, we like to buy that rather than make it because it's really hard to make.
And those figs look like angel wings, and that cream cheese that we've made with cashews is so good.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, very Christmassy.
Now, a little bit of thyme on there as well, and a little bit of agave nectar, and a little bit of balsamic vinegar and some crushed walnuts will just make this hella Christmassy.
So you've got that kind of wonderful flavour of the fig, that lovely juicy freshness. You've got the crunch of the nuts in there and the sweetness of the agave.
And if you had a glass of champagne right now, I think, considering it's Christmas, that would just go down such a treat.
Wonderful and super easy and super quick.
You can make little ones even as well, like canapes. That would be really cool.
Speaking of canapes, this next one is my absolute all-time favourite canape. We're basically making like a salmon, a smoked salmon, but instead of salmon, we're using carrot. What madness is this?
It is very, very strange, but you know, it works really well because it's got the same colour.
Yes, exactly. It looks just like it, and when you've treated it in the right way, it's going to taste just like it too.
Yeah, and here we go. Nutritional yeast is one of our faves, and this is one of the flavours that you need in order to make a little sort of creamy cream cheese to go with this wonderful Bellini.
So this is our cream cheese, and of course cashews are the secret ingredient to give it that creaminess. And it's such a good hack when you're making vegan food. Cashews blend up to give you a cream, they can give you a milk, they're so versatile.
And they're pretty darn healthy. And, okay, also, they grow in a really weird way. Google, how do cashews grow, and you'll be shocked.
Yeah, absolutely bonkers. And let us know your thoughts on that down in the comments below once we've seen how cashews grow.
Now, the bigger the carrot, the more salmon you'll have, or more vegan salmon you have. So make sure you get a big one.
So this is actually inspired by a Nordic dish, lox, where this is just something that they kind of serve, not really as a fish alternative, just as a nice way to treat carrots.
I think it's a really, really good idea. And here, a little bit of beetroot juice will just inject a little bit more colour. Now, the beetroot juice, you don't need to buy a big bottle. You could just use, say if you've got some beetroot lying around, that water that's in the packet that comes with the beetroot.
That nori is going to impart a fishy flavour. So there we have a marinade, which we're tossing all over those wonderful little carrot pieces.
Yeah, a little bit of 60 minutes later, you're going to have something that is like, okay, perfect. It's just going to really have like taken on that flavour, taken on that colour. That carrot's going to be amazing.
I remember the first time I ever ate vegan salmon was with the Happy Pear in Ireland. Remember that?
I do remember that.
The
Those guys.
cafe in Dublin.
Oh,
No, in Greystones.
Yeah, if you ever get the opportunity to go and see the Happy Pear, take it because they're good lads.
Fun guys, yeah.
Here we go, we've got our whisk out, we're making something really cool because you know what, you might as well spend that little bit more time at Christmas to make those wonderful little Bellinis. Perfect little teaspoon measure there.
Yeah, that's a really nice dainty little teaspoon.
It is.
And the reason we're doing such small little servings is because this is for canapes, it's party food, right? So we're making our kind of mini pancakes.
Yeah.
And then we're going to serve something really cute and easy to eat.
I mean, you could put loads of things on those. That's a really solid little recipe. So just bookmark that, save it for later, and then whenever you've got mates coming around, make them some of these.
And if you can find some fresh dill to put on top, all the better.
All the better. Now, vegan mince pies are an absolute must at Christmas.
And these are absolutely foolproof, delicious mince pies, all of that flavour, easy to put together, and we're going to show you how.
Those pictures of those mince pies right at the beginning there look absolutely wonderful. The sort of thing that you'd expect your grandma to make, like really traditional looking. And this mincemeat is going to be so delicious as well.
So of course we've got sugar going in there for the sweetness, we've got those raisins as well, some pecans, some apple going in there as well. That's all going to stew together and give us a real wonderful, rich depth of flavour. But next we want to hit that with some real aromatics, some spices, some lemon, some goodness, and of course that all important booze.
Yeah, you definitely need a little bit of booze for mince. And if you don't like so much boozy taste, just cook it for a little bit longer to get rid of that alcohol.
Yeah, but we like ours quite boozy.
This is true.
It's a grown-up pudding, I think.
And it's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
It is Christmas. And also, to be fair, look at how much fruit is there. This is basically a well-cooked fruit salad, if you ask me.
Yeah, that and the pastry.
Yeah,
Not quite so salady.
Maybe not so salady. But the pastry is just like an edible bowl.
Very pleasing to look at as well when you see it in stop motion like that.
It is so cool. And look what we've done here. We've got one big one and one sort of, what's that? Like
a
ridged
smaller
one.
perforated disc.
Yeah, a small perforated disc. And the reason why we've done that is because you need the big one to fit in to your Yorkshire pudding tin.
And so this is a really easy hack to put these together. You would think it would be difficult, it's like making pastry, but actually it's really easy if you follow this recipe.
That's so good. And obviously you can buy vegan mince pies, they are available everywhere, but you know what? It's really nice to make your own. And if you can't be bothered to make the mince, you could just buy some pre-done mince, but again, going the whole hog is a really good idea.
For the final part of this recipe, which is completely optional, we're going to make a really speedy Christmassy glaze.
And it will go so far just to make it, you're taking them from like a solid A to a magnificent A+.
The flavours we're going for here are the flavours of clementine and maple syrup. That sweetness of the syrup, that orange zestiness going all over the top of those wonderful mince pies.
They're just going to give a really nice golden top and a golden touch. It's just going to increase the flavour and increase the sweetness. They look absolutely magnificent.
You can imagine the fragrance of that orange just coming in with every bite.
And the next recipe is also really, really fragrant. We've got sticky ginger tofu bites, and they are delightful.
These have got an incredible assortment of Christmassy flavours. We've got orange marmalade in there. We've got the kind of spiciness of the ginger, that hotness, and also just some sweetness running throughout. And what's more, texture is perfect.
Exactly, they're kind of crunchy on the outside, nice and soft and fluffy on the inside. You can have them with a cocktail stick as if it was a piece of cheese or pineapple when you were about 4 years old at your birthday party.
It's such a great party food, this one, and quite a showstopper, I would say, for a snack. You want to serve it with some sort of a dipper. That would be really nice to dip this into something.
You could almost even serve it with rice if you didn't have it
Yeah.
as a sort of treat. You could just have it as like a dinner.
Now we're cutting the tofu into these cute little triangles, which gives a nice little variety. You could even shape them into a Christmas tree if you so liked. And what we're going to do is pour that glaze that we made, that lovely marinade, all over the top of that tofu, and then we're going to pop it in the oven.
Yes, oh my goodness, they do look really, really cool. There's something nice about triangular food. You don't see it all that often. And they go into the oven probably for around about 30 to 35 minutes until it's got a nice crisp on. And then when you're serving it, you've got to dress it up like that, haven't you?
Absolutely, and some sweet chili sauce, perfect for dipping. Of course, you'd serve that with some vegan champagne or Prosecco.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, with every single recipe that we've shown you today, I think a glass of champagne or a glass of vegan Prosecco or anything with bubbles will go an awfully good long way.
We should have one now.
I wish that we had.
Let us know your favourite of those vegan Christmas snacks in the comments down below, guys. We hope you enjoyed this selection, and do subscribe and hit like if you haven't already.
Now guys, Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
And hope you have a wonderful 2021, and we will see you in 2021 with loads more wonderful, tasty vegan recipes.
See you next time.
Take care.
Peace.